building multiple page websites using HTML, CSS, and basic JavaScript. So in this, I'll be explaining right from the beginning, from scratch, HTML, CSS, and basic JavaScript, and their responsiveness. So this is just the main reason why I'm making this video so that you can understand how to create multiple page website, a website that has different pages. So this is a video that will show everything. Then also this video to also entail basic CSS, how HTML works and all. So first thing first, the first step we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder. Then we'll give it a name. Give it a name loop test. So now I will now open that with VS Code. So every website starts with a folder, as I've said, as what we've created. So now inside we now start creating our files. So create our first of all create our index, which is the first. Then create another one. Let's call that one. Yeah, let's do. Then we'll do login. Then we'll create another one that will be register.html. And also we are going to create. Then we should do. We will now create our CSS. So we'll call our CSS style.css. Then we'll create another one that will be JavaScript now. So let's call it script.js. So first our index, our login, then we create another one that will be register HTML. So yeah, uh, so we've created login, index, register. Then I think we should have then we should do dashboard HTML. So let's put it in a new folder. So we'll call the folder dashboard. Yeah. Then we'll now create. You now once you click on the folder, see for you to know if the folder is open or not. Look at this arrow. This arrow is pointing towards this direction. So if you want to know if it's open or not, look at this one. This one is pointing down. That is an open. That whatever if you press this plus here, it will create a file inside this folder. Please open whatever it is you are creating is going to be inside. So this is closed, which means whatever it is you want to create will not be inside. So once you do it like this, it's opened. Then once you hover on it, then right click, then new file, then you now click, you now do dashboard, then you do dashboard.html. So now, first thing first we need to do is our boilerplate for index. So I think I don't need to explain that. We should know how that works. So the first thing we're going to do is shift high to give us our boilerplate. So change the name to loop site. So now we this is where we now start linking. So link link our CSS now. So we have successfully linked our CSS. Now let's link our JavaScript. So our JavaScript, your JS file, which is the JavaScript, JS JavaScript, you cannot link it up here because in let me tell you the reason why. So the reason is because when you open this code now with live server, once we go live, I'll open with live server. So I think we should use an in-app browser so that we can see what we are doing. So once you go live, once you go live, your browser reads from number one down to whatever number that you have. So once it reaches number one, it reaches number two, reaches number three. So now the thing now is the reason why, if you notice, that why then do we have why then do we have our link CSS here? I'll break it down. So in the hierarchy of settings now, we have structure, style, and functionality. HTML for structure, HTML for structure, CSS for styling, and functionality for JavaScript. So, and now, if it's by hierarchy, why not put CSS2 down, probably after the HTML? Now it is because this style is what makes your site beautiful. So we want the site beauty to load first before every other document. So that's why we put it in the head. That's why we put it in here so that once your browser is read, it will read this one first, then connect to this to tap whatever it is that is inside before continuing. That is done in split of milliseconds, so you cannot even notice that. But that will make sure that okay, the styling is already being fetched and on ground before loading whatever content that is inside the body. So now, and for this functionality, it won't make sense if functionality is actually working before styling and structure. So that is why we put our script here at the very end. Our script, we put our script at the very end. Yeah, so now let's test. So let's do H1 now. Hello, hello loop. So now let's check what we have done. So let's check. Yeah, hello loop. So it means you are working. So now let's test our CSS. Let's test our CSS and see if it's working. So first thing first, before we even proceed, so there's something we used to do. It's called resetting your browser. So there are default resets that we put in our CSS to help reset every of our CSS to like so that no matter the kind of browser you're using, it will be the same. Because there's some browsers that actually have their own settings and also if the browser differs, we have Firefox, we have Chrome, we have Opera Mini, different type. So we have Microsoft Edge. So there are some of them that actually are like different in some actual aspects. But if you start with some reset, so this reset means no matter the browser, do this at first. So that's why we use asterisk. So asterisk means all, all page. So whatever it is you put inside this will affect every of the page. So what we do is margin zero, padding zero, box sizing, border box, and list style type none. So which means our browser will start from the edge. So before I do this, this is one of the way to actually know if your CSS is working. So let's highlight this now. Let's comment it out so that it will not show, it will not take effect. But let me just delete it direct. This one now what we did is we are not deleting this content, but we don't want it to have any effect. So that's why we comment it out. So it will be here, but it's not functioning. So and to the way to do it is control and forward slash. This forward slash here, you look for this on your keyboard, then use control. So control and this will give us that. So now let's check. You notice that your look at this now. Your browser is starting from this place and this place. Now after we have done this, there should be a changes. There should be a change rather. So now look at it. It's starting from the top and from the edge. So that means our CSS is what? Our CSS has been successfully linked and is working. So now that means our CSS has been successfully linked and it's working. So I think we should now start with the landing page now. So the landing page, in our landing page, I remember always telling us something. So we have three things. We have the header. So we have header, main, so we have header, main, and we have footer. So This will be housing our nav bars. This will be housing our nav bar. This will be housing whatever content that we have, and this will be housing the footer. That's just the explanation. Is to make sure that our websites are properly arranged. So I'll use the comment out to highlight to do this will house the nav bars. So I'm sorry. So this will house the main content of the page, and this will house the footer of the page. So I think that explains it. Now we'll start with the header first. So the first thing we are going to do in the header now is we create a nav. So we create a nav, nav. So inside the nav, let's create now a div, because we'll be having the logos and code. So we are using the div to divide the page evenly to avoid. So now inside the div, so let's do the logo first. So let's just say our logo is, just write the logo as a name, not as a picture now. So logo will be let's say loop hole. Now the next one we want to do is our UL, so which is the another list. So UL another list, then the child that will be inside will be li. So let's say the first li will be home, then and about. So now this is it. Now I think we'll start with so then also then let's add one more. Let's add one more. I think we should add, we are still going to add something though. But for now, let's still leave it like this. So let's add one more. Let's do get started. Yeah, because you want to do some stuff. So let's do change it to get started. Or let's just do, yeah, get started. Then we'll do login. So I think this should come before this by order of hierarchy. Yeah. So I think after that, then inside after the UL, then let's do button. So this button is going to be our hamburger button actually. So yeah, button of let's just leave it as button. Then we'll write whatever it is we want to write inside later. So let me first put hamburger. Then I'll show you the hamburger section. So I think with that we have done the nav. So let me show you how it will look like. This is exactly what it looks like. So you notice that there's no more dots. I'm supposed to be a dot for li stops, but because we've used this, we use the, what's the name now? We've used the, so I think we should be using this one. So we've removed it through this list styles type here. So and I think we should do test decoration. Let me see, maybe test decoration is gonna work. Yeah, you try to remove the underline to generally. So that's work that worked. So now let's build the main section now. Yeah, let's build the main section. So we have the hero section that will be called inside our, so let's say section, yeah, we'll call it a section. We'll call it a section. And the section will be called, yeah. So now inside the section, I will now have a div. So the div, we have our h1. The reason why we are doing this now is because I want it to be section by section. So I think instead of having div self, so if you have section already, let's just remove the div and just go straight. So we have our h1 will be, let's say, so let's say build, okay, momentum one loop at a time. So then as after that we'll do our p tag. So we'll call it let's say loop is the shared focus tracker for small teams. Just giving you random tests. So I think then we'll now create buttons. But instead of writing the word button, we can use A and style it into a button. We can use our aref. So our aref tag. So we call let's say start your first loop, and the next one aref again. I will show you how this will look like. Don't worry. So let's say login. So now let's check it. Yeah, so we are coming together, we are coming there, we are getting there. So I think then the next section will be the about section. So this is called the hero section. So hero section. So then we create another section again. So we'll call it let's call it about section. Now inside that one, so let's create another. I think we should create no, instead of, yeah, we do h1, h2 rather. So call it about loop is a fair focus timer. Then let's make it about, because I want it longer a little bit. So yeah, then I think we should have two. Then yeah, I think we should have two. Sorry, I did not close this. So now it should be better. So that means we have to put it inside a div. So div, yeah, then we have another div. So call it another one of let's use just the same thing again. Yeah, I think we should create more than one. So instead of duplicate, let's just duplicate. Let's just change this to fun fact about us. So now let's make this anonymous information we don't say. So I think two is enough. Four, three is enough rather. So now I think that works. So we have another section. So I think we are done with our, let's say this is our about, because you don't necessarily need just about section. So this will be hero typo mistake. So now we go to the footer. So inside the footer, just put something very simple and straightforward. So just put this. So now to get it to use this, let me show you this. So just put your hand, then let's say copy, that's copyright. So let's say trademark. So do trade. I think yeah. I think for trade, yeah. Yeah, then that will trademark. So let's see how it looks like. Yeah, so that's TM. So but I'm just showing you how it works. So copyright is copy. So you can find out for others. So trade is trade is trademark. Now we'll be having our CSS. So we'll start with the CSS of this. So we start with let's say home page CSS. Home page style. Then we comment it out. Then the next one. So now there's one I think we should use container. I'll show you the function of this. So max width, let's pick 110, then margin 0 to and 1.5. These are just styling. I'm just choosing styling that works for me. So and I'll show you. So if you want to put that container now, I'll show you where to put it. So I will put the container in every of our sections. So this container, so that it can, the reason why we're saying, okay, max width is 1000, that is this type of screen that we are using. So I'll show you the effect. Now let's look at this. So nothing has changed now because we have not actually used the container. So now let's go and put it first here. So we'll do class of the container. So let's just copy it and put it where we want it. So we want it here again. And we want it here. Now let's check this now. So that's the effect of using container. Don't worry, it does not make sense now. It will make sense later. Now let's do button. So I think we should just use a default type of button. So let's use one for example. I think we should just use one type of button. So let's make this one class of button. So once we are styling using this one to style, then we use the button for everything. So let's say dot btn now, since that's the name we used. So Yeah, so we use display inline flex. Then let's see how it looks like. This is it, but I don't like this. So I'll style it my way. Style it my way. That's what AI gave us, the AI that I'm using for this. So first thing first, display inline block. Yeah, we're correct. So then then the background, I'm gonna change the color code. So let's use hash. That is not hash. So I'm gonna use 007 BFF. That's what I want to use. So then my color white, that's FFF. Then my padding should be around 0.6. Okay, and 1.2, so it will not be too much. So I then my border radius 4 pixels. Yeah, that is the roundness of it. That's border radius. Then the padding, the space inside, the space inside, that's padding. So then my font size, let's remove that font size. Let's do that point size. Let's do that font size. So font width instead. So font width, let's use 600. Yeah, I think this is basically my styling for now. So did you see it now? So and now when we hover on the button, it's supposed to do something. So let's set that. So dot button dot over. Yeah, no, not dot over. Sorry. Once we hover on the button, so it will be double column, is it double column or semicolon? You should know what that means. So then we should give us a background. That is, it should change color. So I'll show you how that works. So we have so I think, yeah, so let's over now. So once I hover, this is how the color change. So that's the work of over. Now the next one we are going to be using is outline, and I'll show you the work of the outline too. So those are actually the attributes of characteristics we can use to style our. So let's do outline. So outline is not actually an attribute. So we can make it a class. So that is button outline. So now background should be transparent. The border, yeah, I think background should be transparent. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to be using. I'll show you the effects now. So now let's look at it. So which means this thing, actually there's this black thing here is no longer going to be there when we do what when we actually, so that's the outline. So now the next thing now is button of full, like the size of the button during like some very difficult situation. Let me put it that way. So button full. Yeah, the reason why it's not working yet is because we have not used it as a class. Sorry. So let's use it and test it because it's supposed to show. I was wondering why it did not show. So button then. So you don't need to put the dot when you're putting it as a class here. So remove it. So now let's see. Did you get it now? See? That is it. So get back to our styling. So now width 100%, then text align, let's say center. So I'm going to copy this again because it's not, then we put it where we want to test it and see how it looks like. Do you get it now? So this is means you take the full width if there's nothing there. So when there's something beside it, to do what it will shrink and just follow. So that is it. So these are just button modifiers, and this is how a professional CSS is written. So now let's do the navbar container. So that means we want to start styling the navbar. So now this is what we're going to be doing. So the one that houses all the navbar, that's what we're going to be styling. So which is this place, this one. This one houses all our aref, our ul. So this is what we are going to be styling. So class of navbar of nav container. So now this is what we want to style. So let's do display flex. I don't think I need to be explaining all this because you should have been it. You should have known how it works. So I'm just doing the need to be fast. So justify content space between then padding that's let's say one rem 1.5 rem. So now let's see. This is changing now. So it's not supposed to be it's like this before, now it's like this. So now the next one we're going to be doing is let's do the hamburger. So we gave it, let's do the hamburger now. So you remember that I created a button for the hamburger. So that button is allegedly supposed to be empty. So let's remove this. So class hamburger hamburger. That's correct. So now let's go and style hamburger. It's empty, but I want to show you how. Okay, let me just open a browser at the side so that we can see. So we can see how hamburger is created. So I'll try to open it. Let me close this so I can have enough space. Now look at it. Just note that we are styling this. So we are removing this. There's not supposed to be content inside because we are using this to create one ourselves. So now let's move this to the side and focus on this now. So dot hamburger. So display none, that is there's nothing inside. Then flex direction should be column. Then gap should be 5 pixel. So you will see. So it still won't show now until we start giving it color. So padding, let's say let's say 0.5. Now we'll do the same hamburger again, but this time hamburger again, but this time span. So now we're going to create something inside the hamburger to make it effective. So create a span inside. So span is a kind of element whereby if you use it, it won't give you anything. You really want to style it the way you want it. So that's why we're doing span. So we'll be having 3 spans. Yeah. So we'll get it, we'll get them into because hamburger is supposed to be 1, 2, 3. But don't worry, once we do it finish, you see it. So span supposed to be a width of 25 pixel, let's say 24. Let's say 24. Let's say hamburger span, then width. I'm giving width, let's say height rather, sorry. Height of 3 pixel. That's how tall it's supposed to be. So let me refresh so you can see now. But it's not showing yet. So background, then border radius, border radius 2 pixel, transition, this is 0.2 seconds. So why is it not showing? Yeah, it's not showing because we displayed none. Yeah, so it's not showing because of this that we used. I'm coming because we set it to display none. So let's hide this display now and refresh. Now this is it. Now we have our hamburger showing, but not perfectly as we want it. So I'm coming, I think. So now this is where I will now use our Now this is it. So this is hamburger. Now hamburger is working. We are still going to change this later. So now we want to make sure that this hamburger is not supposed to show on a bigger screen. So it's supposed to show when the screen is smaller. You are getting my point. So this is part of the first step of responsiveness. So this is where we now use our at media. So at media max width of 768. Then yeah, max width of 768. Then this I'm trying to save that as I'm using this. So then we will now adjust the nav links. So nav links, position, position, absolute, top will be 100%. Then left should be 0 and right should be 0. Then background should be white. Then our flex direction column, our display should be none because it's not showing now. That is on that small, that is whatever it is that has nav links, when is not, like when it's on a max width of so, then it should do what? It should work. So now we've done that. I don't think we need margin top any longer. So now the nav links when it's when it's active, so we can say display flex when it's active. Then also I think now we can use comma here, then put dot hamburger. Since I want the same. So now this is it. What I meant by using this now is, since I'm just want you to use once is at this width, then it should display flex the navs links and the what and the. So I've not styled the nav link. I'm just setting the settings down. So we will see the reason why we did it upstairs up later. So now this display flex and the hamburger. So it means comma hamburgers to also display flex when it's on this, and nav links to also what display flex when it's what when it's on that. So that we'll now go and change this back to this hamburger from flex back to none because we have used the flex. This is where we want the flex to show. So we change it to none. Now let's refresh that. Now it's gone. But once our width is smaller, it should show. Once our width is smaller, it should show. But I think we've adjusted something. We've adjusted something. Or probably this is not working. So I think we should just separate it and see maybe that's why, but it's supposed to work. Okay. Let's see. It's not hope it's not capital letter problem. Yeah, it's a capital letter problem. So we need to be very careful with case sensitive. So let's change where we have this. So let's change it to all of them should have a smaller h. All of them should have a smaller h so that we can stop having an h problem. So yeah, working now. So once you extend the screen, it's allegedly supposed to disappear. Yeah, you see? Aha. So on smaller screen, disappear, but on the bigger screen. So now let's go and style our nav link. So when I mean nav link, these links here. So we'll go back to our HTML, then we need to start naming it. So we'll name our, what's the name now? Our nav links. So we are naming the UL class of nav links. You see that it has disappeared? Yeah, that means it's working. So now let's style the nav link normally now. But it's not going to be inside, it's going to be the normal place here. So let's put it before. Yeah, so now let's check it. Now you see, our nav link now is longer. Now I think the next phase now is so we are styling our navbar. So I don't want to explain all this. We already know how it works. I'm just showing us some basic stuffs. So we are going to be styling this. So this is where we're going to put it. So class, I'm supposed to put it here before this. So let's see now. How now by is supposed to work now. I don't know why it's not working. So now we have our home page, So I changed some certain things already. So the loop, and also we are done with our number. So once we do this, so this will not work yet now because of our CSS. And once you click, it's supposed to work because of our JavaScript. So now let's move to the hero section, yeah, which is the main page. So we move to the, so this is the HTML for the login page. So now let's style it. So this is our styling for the login page. So now let's see. Once we click on this login, then this is login page, then refresh. We are now, mistake now is this login now, we have to link it with our CSS. So we have not linked it. So it's supposed to be .css. Now let's check it. refresh, then it works. So this is our login page. So I click on login, it's supposed to take us to the now basically how to link. Now this button, look at this button here. So you just use href. We already created the login page. So you do href. So href login. So once you click on it, href login, then you have it. So this is it, and this is it. So now that is for the login. Now for the register, so the same thing. Href. This very straightforward and simple. So I don't need to show us the JavaScript section because this is not the JavaScript class. So I just wrote a set of JavaScript that will help me with at click of this and this. So I'll attach the code of this work so you can see everything, then read everything through and understand it. So that is that. Now let's create the register now. So now for the login, so I'm going to be showing, I already have, this is the CSS and all, so I'm going to be showing you just how to link. So now this place now, at click submit. So you're supposed to fill a form. Now this is where the routing, now if you want to go to the dashboard now, you have to log in. You know that normally if you are going to access anything, you have to log in. So once you fill up all the form, so it is submit type. So this is done with JavaScript actually. Yeah, so now this is where it directs us to. This is where it directs us to at the dashboard. So we'll do dot slash dashboard, then slash dashboard. That's because inside the dashboard, this is where we are going. You get my point. So that's just what it means. So you won't, I cannot explain this here, JavaScript because I just want to show you how multiple pages look like. So, but I only explain the CSS aspect of it. But to just bypass this, that's the normal script method. But to just bypass this for the login, I can just change this. For this to just bypass that stressful aspect, I just change this to aref. So let's say aref of login. So we'll now do the href inside ref yes. So then dots forward slash dashboard, then the dashboard that's inside. So which means at click, so which means at click of this button, go to the dashboard. So let's click on it, go to the dashboard. Did you get it now? So that is for the login. So I'm thinking of removing this. Let me remove this so it's not confused. I just did this so that you will perfectly understand. So at click, let's refresh. So let's just put something at Gmail. So it takes us to the dashboard. And that's because this is it, the href. So you use href to link or you use JavaScript. So I'm using CS. So now for this other side too. So for this other side too, sorry, for this other side, for this one, at click on this takes us to our register page. At click on this takes us to our login. At click on this takes us to our register page. So this is just basically href. So this is an example of how to have multiple pages. So now let's populate what's inside our. Yeah, so I'm done with the CSS of the dashboard now. So let's see if it works. So when you click on login, fill in your details, gmail.com. So we've not connected our dashboard to CSS. We connected it wrongly. So yeah, it's not working because we did not. So this is our dashboard. So this is how to have multiple pages. This you know, we have multiple pages in one neatly. So I'll be attaching the code with this video when sending it so you can be fully on board and you understand it perfectly. Thank you very much for watching the video. The reason this video is not to explain CSS or anything, it's just to show you how to link and how to have multiple page setup. So I have the login register and I've shown you how to get it, how to chill, how to get each login, how to link each places once you click on it to go somewhere. So you use button or you href to link to go places. So yeah, and the assignment is do something like this too. Do your CSS yourself. Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you want to know how to do that hamburger, then you have to move to this to the JavaScript section, which I will not be explaining. That's why I didn't explain in this video because it's not the main reason why this video has been created. So the hamburger of that works perfectly. This is not so. Do your CSS neatly. That is why I did not explain CSS that much here. I only explain in the beginning because you're supposed to have known CSS by now. So do the CSS your way, do your own, then also have multiple pages set up, the login, the register, and the dashboard set up too, and submit. Thank you very much. Yeah, so now we are done with the front page. Now we are done with the front page. Our buttons and all are working. So let's check the responsiveness. So if you look at the CSS now, you can go over it one after the other and see each every page done. So now we'll swipe, you see. So this is called the responsive page. Now the main reason of this is now is once we click, it's supposed to take us somewhere. So that is called multi-page purpose. That is, we have multiple page in one single project. That is the main reason for this. So now we will need to style our what? Our login and register. So we start our index now and go. So this is how to link it. Just put the page. Now this is how to link. So now if you notice something, our index is on the same page that we have on the same page we have our log is on the same page we have our index and the register. So we don't need to put you can do the linking by doing forward slash, then it will show you the list of things that are on that page. But if it's not on that page, if it's probably inside the dashboard, then you click on the dashboard, then to show you something that's inside the dashboard. That is how it works. So if you are going outside this folder, probably you are inside the dashboard and you're going outside, you can just do double dot, then forward slash, then it take you outside. That is how it works. So inside dot forward slash or normal forward slash, but outside double dot, then forward slash. So that is it. Now we are creating now for the login page now. So let me just do the